Hey guys, so for our last science class of the year, we are going to be making fossils. Pretty cool. So the first thing you need to make your fossils is stone Play-Doh. Now, my stone Play-Doh recipe, you could make it a big batch or a small batch. I'm going to make it a smaller batch since I'm just using it for fossils today. So, I'm going to use 1 cup of flour. If you want to have extra Play-Doh to play with, then you could use 2 cups of flour. I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of coffee grounds. That's what's going to give it that stone color and texture. Now I'm just using my coffee grounds that were left over from my coffee this morning. So let's see, I'm going to use 1/2 cup. There you go, my coffee grounds. Then I am going to use a 1/2 cup of salt. Just regular old salt. Doesn't have to be Himalayan pink salt or anything like that. Just regular old salt. There you go. 1/2 cup salt. Now I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of something called cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is what you use when you're making meringues and things like that. You don't have to use it though, because it makes your Play-Doh soft and squishy and elasticy. But if you're just making a fossil, you don't necessarily have to have that. As I said, I'm putting in 1 teaspoon of that, and then I'm putting in 1 tablespoon of oil. That is going to also make it nice and soft and elasticy. Don't worry, I'm going to put the recipe in the comments below. So I'm going to mix that up before we add in our water. Now our water, you're going to want to use kind of hot water. You can also cook this on the stove. I often do cook it in the stove, but since I was making a video of it, I decided to do it here in front of the computer screen. So I'm going to use 1/2 cup of water for this recipe because, like I said, I'm making the smaller version. So I had used hot water and put it in an insulated cup. So now I am just going to mix. Smells like coffee. I love the smell of coffee. Have you ever smelled the smell of coffee? Have you ever thought about smelling the smell of coffee? So I've got this pretty worked together, and now I'm just gonna mix it a little more, and that is it. That is it. It's pretty good. It's a tiny bit sticky, not very. So you can see, clean hands. Yeah, that's good. That's good. If it comes out a tiny bit sticky, you can just put a little flour inside of it. Look at that color. Can you see? It's kind of a grayish, brownish, and it's got a really awesome rock texture. And I did that on purpose. That was the whole reason that I made my rock Play-Doh instead of regular old Play-Doh. Now, what we're going to do now is make our fossils. So, what is a fossil? A fossil is any trace of anything that lived a long time ago. Like what? Well, it could be something like a leaf. So I'm going to take my leaf, press it into my rock Play-Doh, and look, I got a leaf. Look at that. Pretty cool. Now I could also take a flower and I could press my flour into my dough. And now I have evidence of flour. Pretty cool. Now, we've been thinking and reading some dinosaur books this week. So, of course, gotta make some dinosaur fossils, right? So I have a couple of different little plastic dinosaur toys. So I'm going to try a couple of different methods of making my fossils. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to take and press him sideways into our dough and get our fossil. I've got another guy, and I think I'll do the same thing with him. Maybe it looks like they were fighting when they became fossils. Look at that. Pretty cool. You can tell? See it? Now, the other thing I want to show you is, though, what other kind of fossil could they find? Well, they could find a coprolite. What's a coprolite? Fossil poop! It's true. A coprolite is fossil poop. But the other thing that you can do is take it. Oh, I dropped my dinosaur. A dinosaur. This is kind of a fossil dinosaur right here, right? But I can press its feet and make a trackway. Now, why are we making fossils? Well, fossils tell us lots of information. If you're looking at a trackway, well, first of all, how many feet do you count on this? 1, 2, 3, 4. That tells us the dinosaur had 4 feet. What about some of our other dinosaur fossils we made? Well, if your impression is deep enough and your dinosaur is big enough, you're going to be able to see the scales and the pattern of the skin. You might even be able to see its teeth. So, fossils are really important for paleontologists to be able to study, or for any kind of scientist. It could be a biologist who's studying plants. What kind of plants lived that many millions of years ago? Well, I hope you enjoyed making fossils with me today. Bye!